What are the boys gonna talk about this week? Chartreuse Three.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Chartreuse Three. I'm Trey.
I'm Noah.
And I'm John.
And we just want to thank you for joining us again. So I want to start this up right off. Just Noah, how's your week been? How's it been, man?
It's been really good. I said this before, and I'll say it again because I really mean it. But the light of my week is seeing you. You know why?
Why?
Because you make my whole week.
Oh my God, we don't have to go through this again.
Or
I make your whole week. Yeah. All right. Whatever,
I
dude.
just had to get it out there.
All right. What about you, John?
I mean, it was decent. My room still smells like I mean, it smells like grandma, you know. Hasn't been cleaned yet. Still mildewy. A lot of water everywhere. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You look a little different.
Yeah, you know, I shaved, obviously. I'm bald still.
Your hair's straight now.
So, yeah, actually, I no longer have a perm, so that's cool.
So your hair was just a perm that whole
Yeah,
time?
basically, yeah.
Oh, so you were lying to the public?
That you really kept up on it. I mean, that
Sometimes you just got to change it up a little bit.
takes
you know?
commitment. Yeah.
College does some wild things to you.
Yeah.
So
How is it up in the Mo?
it's good. It's good. I don't have any association with my roommates. My one roommate, he just sits in his room, and he's a stock trader. So. He just rambles on about numbers.
Well, anyway, my week's been all right. Still unemployed. Whoop whoop.
Nobody asked.
Well, I'm telling anyway. And nobody asked, but I did. But
How was your? I want to know. I always want to know.
it's been okay. I mean, like I said, I'm still unemployed, looking for a job. I'm looking for internships. I'm giving up because I don't have the GPA for an internship.
What kind of an attitude is that?
Huh?
Never
Giving
give
up.
Well, I put in.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you one thing. I put in a couple internships. This is the one I'm hoping to hear from. I applied at Marvel Entertainment to work for their marketing team because they're looking for a marketing intern. And I
That's
will
awesome.
obviously keep you guys posted because that would be dope. You want to know what I had to say on my cover letter? I had to write what superhero that I related to the most.
What'd you put?
Spider-Man.
Heck yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What I put?
I just
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's like the most relatable superhero out there.
That's a
Bro,
good
Spider-Man's
choice.
a man.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been a pretty good week. I'm if I don't get an internship, I'm gonna be applying at like AT&T or something because I think that would be really easy because I just
If you go and you do AT&T, I was gonna do that. You can get like sign up for commission.
Mhm.
Like you can be like a salesperson.
Yeah.
And you'd be really good at that.
That's what I'm saying. I
Also,
think
be
I would
careful
good
with
at
that Marvel thing because I know somebody else who applied for a Marvel position and they were gonna be in. I don't know if it was marketing or if they were gonna be like put as like a commercial, like to be put in a commercial or
Mhm.
something. And they were lied to, and it was like a big scam.
Yeah. Well.
So really bolstering your confidence.
Yeah,
Right now.
a little bit. It was on LinkedIn, so I mean, we'll see.
So
Oh,
just
it has to be legit then. Come on, let's be honest.
so just be really careful, and if they message you back and say something instantly, reach
No,
out.
they didn't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm saying if they end up reaching back out to you, message like an actual
Executive or something.
or like, well, I mean, I don't know if exactly, just like their whatever on like look it up.
Yeah, I'll just email Walt Disney's Frozen Head.
Yeah, go ahead and email Kevin Feige.
Yeah, Kevin Feige. Yeah.
No,
But
a serious question though. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
but,
good.
It's okay, John.
At the end of your email, did you put like yours truly, Jimmy Cox the Third, or I mean, that's a good professional way to get. I mean, you instantly would get a job then. I'd
Yeah,
say.
but I didn't put yours truly. I put thanks for your consideration, Jimmy Cox
Right.
III.
I mean, either way, it would work.
Here.
Obviously, I don't know if our video viewers see or not. If you're watching video, you can definitely see. And I mean, I would say if you're listening in audio, I think you can hear that this isn't John. So
I'm not the Italian stallion y'all were preferring, but it'll do for now.
But this is Carson. He's one of our good buddies, and he's stepping in for John this episode. So Carson, you want to just tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name's Carson Huck. I go to WVP with Trey, and also Noah. Two really smart guys. I have class actually with Trey.
Yeah.
Hasn't been to class all week though. I'm very concerned. I took pictures of all my notes for him though. So whenever he needs those notes to pass class, I'm there for
I'll
him.
be there the rest of the time, bro. I just had a weird week, like I said. But
It's okay. I was sitting there just lonely. I didn't have anyone to talk to.
Are you gonna cry about it?
I mean, I did actually. I mean, it's a class about rocks. Like, I was crying.
hey, did you learn any more about cleavage?
Oh my god, a lot. There was a lot of cleavage in that class. Just the rocks, though.
Just the rocks.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Very
So,
eerie.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how we met, Carson. I think it was 9th grade, right? I think that-
1997.
Yeah.
Or-
Well,
I think it was-
it was either 9th grade at one of Noah's gatherings, but we officially started talking a lot more for Mr. class.
No.
Junior, yeah.
You and I
Sure.
met freshman year in Miss class.
Oh, that is true. I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
It was that because I was always doing the Mr. Gowdy voice and stuff.
And I was
you thought
always
it was,
coughing on like ice.
yeah,
and
you were
stuff,
just you were
throw it
just
up.
regurgitating. I don't know how many people know Carson personally, but Carson just likes to throw ice or anything that he can get in his gullet and just regurgitate it.
Yeah.
I called him. He called me yesterday, and the first thing he did, instead of like saying any words, he was just like on the phone, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
I like ice.
So like we'd be in class and like the teacher would be teaching stuff and Carson would be in the back and I'd be like, Carson, do it, do something crazy. And so he'd be in the back.
And you know what? No one batted an eye about
No,
that.
bro.
They just accepted that I threw up ice, and they were cool with it. You know, and our teacher was cool with it too. She never really cared,
Yeah.
and I continued to throw up ice for many, many years
Yeah,
after
you did
that.
it in Mr. class and you did it
Mr.
in
What a
yeah.
guy!
What a
cool
guy.
That
You
was a
and
fun
you and
class.
Adam had a contest in my room to see who could spit ice the farthest at each other.
Yeah.
He also that was also the time that he bit off the lid of his cup and stuffed his whole hand in the cup and then threw ice at Mach 6 at you.
Yeah, I remember that.
It almost dented. It almost like hit my computer.
He's done a lot of damage to a lot of people.
We'll wait to talk about
Yeah,
Adam's,
yeah.
Adam's property damage report.
We'll get pictures and we'll post them of all the holes in each other's
There
walls.
are a lot of holes in the walls.
Yeah.
I can definitely attest to that.
You know what's funny? Speaking about the ice, is Ryan, your brother. I
Mhm.
taught him how to do that. He's a pro at it now. He's
Yeah.
throwing up everything. Food, ice, it doesn't matter what it is. He's throwing it up. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that
I was a little influenced.
that
on
kind
him.
of ties into like the amalgamation like we was talking about in episode
Yeah.
2. Hey, if you haven't seen episode 2,
Yes.
make sure to check it out.
Shameless plug
pretty
on our
good.
own thing, so it's not a plug.
It's
just
not a
to-
plug,
Just
it's
go
just a-
keep it out.
We're going to have one of those every episode for the rest of the time. So just get used to it.
Yeah, we're gonna do callbacks. So if you don't get the reference, then go look up our lore.
Yeah,
so.
you got to go listen to it. You got to get the lore.
Carson, how do we meet?
Ooh, actually, I remember. This was middle school.
Yeah.
Middle school, Edison Middle
I
School.
was waiting to see if you messed it up.
Years. No. I remember this. Come on now. I should have remembered Miss. That was like awesome time. But
Yeah.
okay, so I had a birthday party. This was Edison Middle School, and basically it was not planned out very well. We made invitations, and we gave every kid that we saw in the hallways an invitation card. And I swear, we had 30 kids or more show up to my house. I just moved into a new house. My mom was like, yeah, you can invite a few friends over, no problem. 30 kids show up to my house. 30 kids. And that place was wrecked.
Yeah,
afterwards.
it was destroyed.
Demolished.
Somebody peed on a deodorant stick.
Yeah,
like,
and then rubbed it all over our pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was cake pizza at our house. There was cake. I'm sorry, not in our house. And our couch. Like,
Yeah.
we had a couch, and there was pizza shoved inside of it. Like, it was bad.
What kind of devious did you guys get up to at Edison?
Honestly, I mean, I was a good kid then. I think
Yeah?
that party kind of changed everything.
Yeah, we didn't do nothing like that at Blenner
it was
Hansen.
crazy.
That's all I gotta say,
There was
bro.
there was like a pillow fight, but it was like
No,
death match.
Yeah, that
Like,
turned into like a riot. Like, all the lights turned off, and I remember Adam grabbed 2 pillows, and Devin Ludwig's one of our good friends.
Yeah.
He punched him as hard as he could, and I remember seeing Devin levitate off of the ground, and he went flying into the stairs.
Jesus.
It was bad.
So they were like it was him and I think it was Connor McCloy. Or
Oh.
no, it was one of them. It was
Yeah.
either him or somebody else that was there. But they had him and they were like beating me up and I was trying to dodge him. And Adam put one pillow on his hand and he made like a shotgun
Yeah.
noise and he said, and then he walked up to Devin and punched him so hard that he went into the air,
Yeah.
hit the couch and smacked your wall super hard. And then Connor was like, okay, and dropped his pillow and stopped.
It was the riot was over after that. Adam went in a different mode.
There was also what would we play, like ankle biters or something, where you'd run
Oh.
around and you'd rip someone's ankle up or like
So you're thinking about when we were outside,
Yeah.
and we were doing that, but also like everyone took off their shirts and we were all attacking each other with our shirts.
because someone would be blindfolded.
Yeah.
And then you'd get your shirt and people were wetting their shirts.
Yeah.
And then tying a knot at the end of them.
Yeah.
And so they'd run up to the person who was blind and it was supposed to just be like you hit him with your shirt and try to get him to come to you. And then they tied it up and put like wetted at the end of it and then would smack him and it's like a mace.
Oh,
'Cause at
it
the end
was
of it,
bad.
The centrifugal force of it flying like that. So whoever was like blindfolded would just get beat and like people were like bruised.
It was I think it was Connor. He came inside after that game and he was covered in grass stains, mud, bruises, everything. And he came up to my dad. He's like, "Can I please get a shower?" And the dad was like, "Are you okay?" He was like, "Did you go to the hospital right now?" It was bad. He was very, very like concerned.
Yeah, we played that, and then there was the ankle biter game where you'd walk up to someone and like rip their ankle up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was Connor again was trying to come up and rip my ankle up, and Adam saw him, and Adam like ran over to me, and he picked, and Seven was coming to rip my ankle up too because they couldn't get me because Adam kept running around like
Oh,
literally
yeah.
throwing people. He wasn't even playing the game; he was just chucking people around, and he goes up to Connor. And Connor tries to like push him, and Adam just puts his hands like on the back of his on him and Seven, like the back of their thighs, picks them up on either shoulder, and sprinted across your yard and slammed him into your
The
fence.
Yeah, I remember that because Seven was like, he's like, my ribs. And I was like, what is going on right now?
I went inside after that. I was like, I'm not playing anymore.
Oh, yeah, we all went inside.
And then I 1v1 someone in COD. And
Oh,
then-
you were demolishing people. In COD. That was the first time I actually bought that game, didn't know how to play it. And I saw Noah come in there and like just take everyone down. And I was like, whoa. This is a real man right here. These are all kids. This is a
Yeah,
man
bro.
playing with us all right now. Everyone left. 30 kids staying in our house. The next morning, demolished my whole downstairs basement. Brand new house, demolished. Pizza all over the place. Cake. It took me about, I'm not kidding, 4 hours to clean up that whole thing by
Jesus.
myself.
Someone changed your light bulb while the circuit was
No,
still
what
on.
happened was Connor again took a bat and demolished my light bulb. Then he came over to me and said, "Oh, I smashed your light bulb." Yeah. So then my dad came down there. He's not really a handyman, but he did his best to try to.
It wasn't your
to
dad.
fix
Somebody
that.
else. He
That
broke
was-
the. Yeah.
Was that Seven or was that someone
It
else?
was someone else. So he smashed the light
Yeah,
bulb,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they put their hand on the broken light
it
bulb.
tased him.
Yes,
It
because
shocked
it's,
him.
It's an open circuit with an
With the
open
light
bulb.
on.
Yeah,
With the light on
and
as
they were
well.
like twisting it off, and they're like, "Ow!" And they did it
Yeah,
again.
it like burned them. Oh yes, it was that was a wild first time that we've met party. That
Yeah.
was the first time. I think that was the first and last time Noah's ever been at my house.
Uh,
No, second. That's the first time you came over in high school once as well.
Yeah, there was another time. I
I
can't
think-
remember what we did.
I think that party just ruined him though. Like it gave you like PTSD. Like
No, you just never invited me back. I was so excited. I thought I had the best
I-
time of my life at that.
I
at that
honestly
moment.
think my parents just don't want anyone to come over
Probably,
because of how much damage occurred at that house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I remember that, and I remember gym class with you as well.
Oh.
But I think we had because we were with Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
That
the trio. That was the trio that we were running
That
around
was a good trio. man.
in gym
That
class and
was-
stuff.
You know, it was crazy. In middle school, like, I saw Adam as a grown man. I mean, he still is. But, like, when you're in middle school, everyone's pretty underdeveloped. Adam
Adam
had
was, like,
strength
yeah.
and, like, power
I
that
believe it.
I have never seen before.
And
Like,
he wasn't contested by anybody.
No,
So,
no
like,
one-
he
no.
He would just do something, and they'd be like mad, and
Yeah.
then they'd be like, oh.
they would not. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of or seen Adam in a fight. I wonder why. No one wants to mess with
I don't
me.
Yeah,
want to
no
I don't want
chance.
to rip someone's head off.
Yeah.
Not on purpose either.
Just accident. he has that switch where it's like, I can fight you, but then it's like, I'm going to hurt you. Like, actually hurt you.
Oh shoot.
So, other than that, I think middle school, the party, and then that was. I mean, I knew. And then speaking of, John, I met John early on in middle school as well. He came over to my house. This is my old house. He came over. We hung out quite a bit. Played a lot of Madden basketball. he hit it off really well with my dad because he knew a lot of basketball and I didn't know a whole lot. So my dad absolutely loved him right off the bat. He's a good guy. What can I say?
Not much else.
Yeah.
He can't. He really can't.
You have something you're interested in spreading to the world?
I do. You guys have influenced me in these past couple of podcasts. By the way, if you haven't seen 3 or 4 or all of the cast, probably should watch them. They're pretty damn good.
Yeah, check our Linktree in the bio of this podcast, whatever you're watching it on. It's in there. So
Check them. Anyways, I came up with a lot of my own conspiracy theories and also not any cryptics. Not any of those today. Maybe next time in the future if I'm blessed to come back on. I'm pretty honored to be here. But
you came up with your own conspiracy theories that you believe?
Retrace that. Trey, cut that out real quick.
You researched.
I researched them.
I was about to say we're really going down the rabbit
We're
hole
going deep,
today.
yeah. We're going deep. I don't know. Just I came up with some big ones. Some people might know them, some people might don't.
Yeah.
These ones I thought were pretty cool. I don't know if I believe a lot of them. I just want to get your guys' opinion on them.
Yeah.
The first one is the moon landing. I know
yeah.
you guys kind of touched on that last time.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to get your guys' perspective on, did it happen?
Okay.
So the moon landing, I would say, because people are like, oh, it wasn't real. They filmed it,
Yeah.
right? And the argument is that they didn't have the technology to send the broadcast down to Earth.
Yeah.
My argument with that is that they did, because radio waves,
Yeah.
they inherently travel. It doesn't. That's not advanced technology. We were sending radio waves across the world, and I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it in space. And we were sending them out to space before that too.
Yeah.
So I don't see that as the issue. But what do you think that? Because I know you're thinking that it's not real.
I didn't say
Whoa,
that.
hey, hold
no,
on.
I feel like I was just feeling like it is because I feel like we've talked about it and you're like, oh, come on.
No, it's not like that. I think that we really landed on the moon.
Right.
Like I don't dispute that we landed on the moon, but I feel like we recorded something either before or after that we actually did it, because if you look at the video, the flag is blowing in the wind. There's no wind on the moon.
There's no wind, but there's a weight to it. There's other variables that come into play.
No variables.
No, there is.
No,
No,
yeah, there is,
There
yeah.
is. No, there's not. There's not at all. He has no idea what he's talking about.
And also, you're the evidence right there of the flag. I personally believe in that. I have it written down right here.
Do ya?
Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. I think also I agree with you. Is during this time we were in the space race, obviously, and we wanted to beat the Soviet Union by
Yeah.
any means necessary.
Oh yeah.
Any means, anything that they had, we wanted to do better. It was a very back and forth battle.
Yeah.
I personally also believe that we did go to the moon, obviously, but I feel like that first time that we recorded that, definitely not on the moon. And a lot of the reasons why, obviously you said the American flag, is there's no atmosphere on the moon.
No.
How is it flapping? How is it moving around?
Explain it to us now.
No. I don't know the exact specifics, but I'm sure there's variables there that would determine that. Because there's so many other things that can be proven against that.
Well, their evidence here that they said, because people said, why is this flag moving? They said, oh, we put a metal pole in the flag to hold it up. Where's the pole at? I don't see it in that picture. I don't see it at all. I don't see any poles. You see any poles?
I don't have the picture in front of me.
Well, remember it.
Hey, we'll put it up there.
Yeah. Also, irregular shadows on the moon's surface. A lot of the pictures that you'll maybe, if you want to look up, is the sun. It doesn't line up with the pictures at all. The lighting is really off on a lot of the pictures. It's almost like a movie set.
But do you think we had that level? Okay, so then the argument is do we had that level of movie making capabilities back then? Do you think we had
With
that
the
level
light?
of? Well, I mean, you're saying that level of editing, that level of making that. Those 1960s.
I mean, in
what
Hollywood.
what movie can you think in Hollywood?
Yeah, in Hollywood.
That has the same
Yeah.
level.
No, I agree. In Hollywood, no.
No.
But we're not talking about Hollywood.
Right, but you're talking
Talking about the government.
You're talking about the government. You're talking about NASA.
Okay, so
And they didn't make movie making technology. They made space technology and
Yeah,
weapons and whatever else. They made intelligence.
But do you not think that the government will get the best people to make a fake moon landing?
I agree that they get the best tech, but also in the 1960s, I don't think that they had the technology to make it look like there's an entire That's
Now,
a whole.
they had CGI back then.
Oh yeah.
Where you never mind. You literally have to cut it and put it on the film.
I know, bro. I just was trying to piss you off because I knew you'd be like, it does not
So it's
compute,
so
does
it's
not compute.
Either argument, it's like, okay, well, that's kind of rough. Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell if it was and if it wasn't, because that's why maybe we didn't. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate, at least for the side that seems to be losing against every millennial I talk to about if the moon landing was real.
We're not millennials.
Whatever.
We're Gen Z.
Gen Z.
And
We're
even
Zoomers.
older people, I've talked to people that older than us that think the moon landing is fake.
Yeah.
And you're on the losing side of it was real.
Well, I mean, here's something too, and I don't have any evidence, obviously, like nothing written down, but I remembered learning about this, just talking about the space race and the Cold War and all that. One thing that really happened, and you can look it up, is that Reagan one time got on national television and said that we had lasers in space to shoot the Soviets if they were going to shoot us. Like, he just said, we've got lasers and we will kill you. I mean, it was like a big deal. And come to find out, they didn't have lasers in space. He was just lying because he was trying to scare them off.
Reagan wanted there to be lasers in space because they were going to work on it, and that's what it was called, Project Star Wars.
I know, but he said that they were there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he lied.
Yeah, he
they
lied.
were working on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he told the Russians that they were there. So why would it just? I don't think it's a jump in logic to say
They're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I also believe that we really landed on the moon.
Yeah.
I just think that the video evidence.
wasn't the video.
Yes, I don't think that was the video.
We were very scared that we were going to lose that race. So when you're in that situation, what are you going to do? You're going to have to do anything you can do to prove your point of, yeah, we got there.
Yeah, I mean.
I agree 100% that we were there, but I believe that the initial recording that they had, not true at all.
Fair.
Also, I have a picture here. Obviously, you guys can't see. There's a rock prop that's seen in a lot of the videos, and there's a huge C on the rock. And a lot of movie productions would do this. They would
I've heard
label,
that. Yeah.
and there's some with it on there, some not. So that's a big factor right there. Why is there a random rock on the moon with the C? You know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead there, bud.
No.
CGI guy.
It's just.
He's gonna be like,
so many.
those could be doctored.
They could. Everything that we're seeing could be. The fact that we're saying that this whole video is doctored. It can also be the counterpoint that everything that we're seeing is doctored to make us think that it was doctored. Like, you can just go so deep.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're like Inception
like
in us right now.
and you can go that deep. But it's like, I'm not gonna on you for your opinion on if you think it's real or not, because I couldn't tell you a straight up answer. I'd be like, well, there's this and that.
Yeah.
So it's like depending on what you choose to believe.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously it's not something I'm 100% on. I am open, like with some things like flat Earth and stuff like that. I'm not open to hearing.
Well, you don't think if we sail far enough, we're just gonna fall off?
Yeah, I'm not open to hearing discussions about
fell
that.
off the other day.
Well, whatever. But I'm not open to hearing that because to me that's silly. But like saying that maybe we lied, like maybe the government lied.
Yeah.
That's not so out of reach. I mean, you look at shameless plug, but I mean you look at things that we've covered in recent weeks. You talk about MK Ultra and you talk about just aliens, period, and I mean anything like that. The government very obviously lies about things sometimes, and that maybe that's not a terrible thing. Like maybe there are some things that we shouldn't know, but I'm just saying I don't think it's that far a step in logic to just say, yeah, they lied, and we didn't really land on we did really land on the moon, but that's not the real video. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the way that I view it. And obviously, I'm not gonna it's not life or death if the video is real or not.
Yeah, we
but
got there.
Yeah, I mean we're there now.
We have little drones out there.
Yeah,
exploring other planets.
Yeah,
it's like, whatever.
And you brought up the MK Ultra thing. I was listening to that podcast, and John mentioned this as well. But I instantly thought of Charles Manson right off the bat. Right off the bat, I thought of him because you have a guy that's an actor, obviously in his early days, very famous guy, and all of a sudden he's just boom, he's crazy, and I think that has tied into that as well.
Yeah.
Did I say actor? I don't know if he's a musician.
He
or
was
an
a
actor.
musician.
Okay,
Yeah,
my
he made
bad.
music. You're good.
Musician, yeah.
You're good. Yeah. He made music while he was doing the cult too, and like
Really?
yeah,
I believe that it was the music
yeah,
that made people like want to follow him, like he
Yeah.
hypnotized them or something.
yeah, and
interesting.
all of his stuff is actually on Spotify and Apple Music.
Really?
now.
It's
Yeah.
still there.
Go listen to it and join it. I mean, don't join it.
What it's called? Okay.
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 Go listen to Charlie.
Yeah. I don't. This is not really conspiracy theory. This is a cold case murder. I don't know if you guys heard of him, Robert Hansen.
I haven't.
He is the guy that would take his victims to Alaska, basically send them out in the woods, and he would hunt them. Yeah.
What the?
Yeah. So what he would do is I'll read some. I don't have everything memorized. I have so much information, but going off my knowledge of reading, is he would pick up women, and he would force them to go to Alaska, and he would like basically almost send them out in the woods and say like, okay, you're going to survive now, and then he would let them loose and hunt them down. And I'm not sure if any of them made it out alive or not, but like there was a burial site in Alaska of all of his victims. But it's just insane to hear that, like a person actually like hunting down like as like an animal in a way.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
It's like not to make light of it, but it's like Craven the Hunter. Like when he's hunting
Yeah.
down Spider-Man, like he throws him, he's like a runaway Spider-Man, and he's like chasing him down. That's wild.
And
I can't believe that's real. I've never heard that.
What's intense about this, and really doesn't make sense about, I mean, obviously our not government, but our like just judicial system has changed since then, you know, with laws and stuff. But growing up, it says during his incarceration, incarceration, cut that out, Trey. He was diagnosed with manic depression with periodic schizophrenic episodes.
Wow.
So he was diagnosed very, very young with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And he was obsessed with people that wronged him. So that's why his victims were mostly women, is because he felt like when he was growing up, like he wasn't liked by women, I guess, in a way. And so he had a really bad criminal background as well. He was arrested many times for supposedly, like, he would kidnap people and they would get away. He would get arrested and then let go. Like, he would be let go. Like, he would obviously get tried for like maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
But then he'd be let go. And then actually there's a quote I hear of a judge that said, "This gentleman here has been known for us for several years. We've turned him loose several times." So basically, this was reported in 1984. So out of all of his crimes, he's been caught multiple times. He has a record. But they keep letting him out, and he keeps doing the same thing. And he's also like schizophrenic. Like, they let this guy, he went to a insane asylum for a while as well. They let him loose. They just let him go, and he kept on doing the same thing over and over.
Caught him
and
that
over
many
again.
times. You think they put him on like a watch list?
Yeah,
You would
that's what I was
think,
about
but
to
they
say.
just kept on letting him go over and over and over again.
That is crazy.
Because that's what sucks. I mean, you hear stuff like that, like it could have been all stopped. Like, all the people in Alaska didn't have to die if they would have just like kept a handle on him. Because like something like that happened, that I actually learned about in my reporting class last year. I took reporting public affairs, so we would do like crimes and stuff. And he didn't want us doing anything like local, because that's like
Scary.
yeah, it's a little scary. So he pulled up a police report from one of the Jeffrey Dahmer murders. And so Jeffrey Dahmer had this kid. He was like 14 years old. His name was Conorak something. I can't remember his last name. But he was walking him. He had like picked him up on the street and drugged him, and he was walking him to his apartment.
I hear.
Yeah, and so they were going, and somebody earlier had called the police and was like, "Hey, something's going on," and the kid is very obviously drugged, like he's out of his mind, and so the cops actually stopped him while they were walking together on the street to get to his apartment, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, this is just my boyfriend. He's okay." And like Conorak is like slumped over, like passed out. And he's like, yeah, he's just had too much to drink. He's okay. I mean, he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, all right, whatever. And they let him go upstairs, and Dahmer killed him and ate him.
That's insane.
And like it could have,
He could have that could have been avoided easily.
yeah. And
seriously.
here's the craziest part, in my opinion, in all of it. What I think is really an injustice is those two were never punished. The two
The police
cops,
officers, yeah.
they were never punished. They had a week suspension with pay, and then they were back.
That's insane.
One of them is like he's like the top. He's like the
Like the chief almost.
yeah. He's like the chief
Mhm.
in Milwaukee
Gosh.
now. Yeah,
That's
I mean
insane. That's insane that he would actually like want to be a cop after that. In a way, like I think if that was me and I let that go, almost like I'd kind of almost want to retire.
Yeah.
Not even want to be a cop.
yeah.
Because it's like I let that happen. Like I let my guard down in a way.
Yeah, and they were also like huge assholes about it, and it's because he said, "Oh, this is my boyfriend," so they wanted
Right.
to get away because like
Right,
they were
back
like,
then, yeah.
I mean, because back then they were like, gay people were sick and all that,
Right,
which
exactly.
is it's just so f***ed up,
Mhm,
man.
it
It's
is. Just going back to that topic.
yeah. Sorry to.
No, you're good. I said here the rape charge involving the sex workers was dropped as part of a plea bargain. Hansen was sentenced to 5 years in prison, and then after serving 6 months of his sentence, he was placed on a work release program and released to a halfway house.
What?
After that charge, he was released 6 months into a 5-year sentence.
What in the
Yeah, and then he's back on the streets, kidnapping people and taking them to Alaska and hunting them down.
failure? What a failure
Yeah.
of our system.
Multiple times.
That is crazy.
Multiple times.
Yeah, our judicial system is.
It's different now, but like also we hear about stuff.
Yeah,
like
I
that
mean,
still.
it's still just.
Man, we're kind of like an anti-government podcast, huh?
yeah,
This is starting to get scary.
Yeah, we're kind of anarchy
Yeah,
on this podcast.
nobody turned into a radical. We don't support that by any means. Oh my gosh.
Hey Chandler, if you're listening, this one's for you.
Let's see. I have another. It's kind of a conspiracy theory. I'm sorry. It's a wild one. I don't know if you guys heard of D.B. Cooper or not.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
That's,
Yeah, bro.
I absolutely love it
Yes,
as well.
yes.
This story is amazing. I don't have full details.
No,
I'd
you're
like
good,
You guys
yeah.
to hear this as well. It's very short because obviously everything I looked up
There's-
was very short.
yeah.
They still have no
Because
clue.
it's,
Yeah.
and I even talked to my mom about this, and she was like, honestly, I was alive during that time, and I have no idea
Yeah.
what happened. No one does.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Because I've talked to my dad about it because he was alive during it too,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I remember that." He said, I was watching a documentary on it,
Mhm.
and he was like, "I can't believe they're making documentaries about the
Yeah.
guy." He was like, "We have no clue who he
There's
was."
just not
And
enough
he's like,
information to
yeah.
even almost make a documentary, man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so it says here, I'll just start from the beginning. On the afternoon of November 24th, 1971, a man calling himself Dan Cooper approached the counter of a Northwest Orient Airlines, in Portland, Oregon. He used cash to buy a one-way ticket on flight number 305, bound for Seattle, Washington. Thus began one of the great unsolved mysteries in FBI history. Cooper was a quiet man who appeared to be in his mid-40s, wearing a business suit with a black tie and a white shirt. He ordered a drink, bourbon soda. What a man. What a drink.
What a guy.
While the flight was waiting to take off, a short time after 3 p.m., he handed the stewardess a note indicating that he had a bomb in his briefcase, and he wanted to sit with her. So she was obviously stunned. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
She has a bomb. Opening the case, Cooper showed a glimpse of a mass of wires and red-colored sticks and demanded that she write down what he told her. Soon, she was walking a new note to the captain of the plane and demanded 4 parachutes and $200,000. I'm not sure if that right or
It was
not.
somewhere
It's
around
close.
there.
200,000 to 500,000.
Yeah.
I've heard. And $20 bills, which I don't know how an airlines would have that much cash on hand. Yeah, yeah, just counting them out. I'm not sure. That's kind of I understand the parachute request. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they had that much money. But when the flight landed in Seattle, the hijacker exchanged the flight's 36 passengers for the money and parachutes. Cooper kept several crew members, and the plane took off again, ordered to set for Mexico City. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, a little after 8 p.m., the hijacker did the incredible. He jumped out of the plane with a parachute and the ransom of money. So it must have been like a plane. This is the thing.
Well, they landed. They went.
Right.
They went to the airline.
Yeah.
So
they picked the money up.
yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah.
airline.
They
Still,
he
though.
he got the he got the passengers off the
Right.
plane
Mhm.
with the bomb, and I mean he was holding them for ransom.
Yeah.
So they gave him the money, which you're not supposed to do.
No.
Whenever there's a
Never. You don't
ransom,
Yeah.
you're not.
negotiate.
No, you don't negotiate with terrorists.
Different times back
But
then, I guess.
yeah, and then he went up. So they got it either from the airline or.
It had
Somebody brought
something.
it.
Yeah,
had to be,
somebody
yeah.
had it, so that makes a lot more sense. Because I was how did they get it on the
Yeah,
airplane?
that's what I was thinking too. It's like no airlines
Yeah.
has that much
Yeah,
money.
but that's what it was. It was at the airport.
So basically, he jumped out with the money and parachute. The plane landed safely, but Cooper had disappeared in the night, and the ultimate fate remains a mystery to this day.
People
So
s-
no
there's-
one knows.
Yeah, no, nobody knows if he died. Some people think he died. Some people
Yeah.
think that he's just living a normal life because they
Mhm.
could never find like the proper Dan Cooper in any sort of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was
registry.
using a fake name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a kid that reported to find money. I'm not sure if it was Mexico or somewhere around there, but he did find money that was like, it was very beaten up. It was very tattered. So that was one thing that. So obviously he was somewhere around there. But when you're in Mexico, I don't think we can. There's not much we can do then. I mean, he's gone. Yeah.
The other
So
thing was that he did his research about that plane.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I don't know if you like saw it anywhere further, but he actually, like, the way he jumped out of the plane was through like. There was only few planes that had this exact exit that he wanted.
Right.
And it was towards like the back, I think. And it was a certain place, and the only way you would have known that, and it was like and the way he did it so diligently and performed everything like to a T. And like accurate, like so, just precisely planned.
Right.
He would have had to do his research about it all. Like he planned this out
It's
from
insane.
the get go. You know who I think it was? I think it was Loki.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up.
Had to have been Loki, man.
So actually, because of this incident, they don't make planes like that anymore.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
speaking, they don't do doors like that anymore on the planes. Which I mean, obviously, it's a smart idea. You can't have just someone opening a door and jumping out of a plane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that it's just that is while it's also one of the greatest mysteries of all time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also one of like the coolest stories. Could you imagine being him?
It's insane.
You walk into Mexico and you just like buy like a mansion, and, and nobody can like even put anything on you because you
Well,
don't have a hit. Like,
this is the
past.
thing: is how he had to be. What they said, mid-40s. This was in what?
1971.
1971. If he was, I don't think. How old would he be to this day? I don't know. That's no, I'm not good with that. But anyways,
He's like-
He'd be like my grandpa's age.
he'd be like-
Yeah, he'd be
so
like.
if he was still alive, that's the thing is that is a lot of money back then. But how could he live?
like 70 plus years old.
How could he live with only $200,000, $500,000 though?
Yeah, not very.
I mean,
not very
for
long.
this long, I mean,
If he didn't live in America,
if you didn't live in America, yeah,
he went to Bali.
it's a good place to go.
He went to Bali and bought the whole island.
he went to Cuba.
I mean, honestly, with $200,000 now and then,
Yeah.
he probably did buy. He probably did buy Bali.
How bro,
yeah.
you know where he went?
Where'd he go?
He went to Tahiti.
Ugh. Not to go off subject here. I love that you brought up that story in geology.
Yeah,
Of,
dude, it was funny.
The Rock.
Micah.
It was Micah, that rat bastard. You had to. I mean, every time you hear Micah now, you just get enraged. That story.
Every time I'm so mad.
That story made me. I mean, honestly, that game made me cry. It was, like-
No, I did.
it was
I
a
did
very.
too. Yeah.
I beat that game 5 times.
Yeah, dude, I've played it so
It's
many
so
times.
good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's
I
so
mean, it's a
good.
long game, but every time it gives you like I don't even beat the John part. I just go to Arthur.
I
Yeah.
I never go to John.
Really?
I've only
It's
did
very
John
good.
part one time. It is good, but like I think the emotional connection that you get with Arthur,
Oh, yeah.
there's no other character.
I totally agree with that. But the John part is it's a very nice end. You have to play it at least for the
Have you
final
never-
mission.
shut this door.
Okay.
That's fine, no problem.
Pickles what?
Pickle shit. I can smell it. It's bugging.
It's podcast.
It's irking me. My cat just shit and I can smell it everywhere. It's getting in my nostrils. But no, I didn't play the John part. I didn't
You
play-
have to play it for the final
You
mission.
never beat it after all these years. You never like played the John part.
No, I never went back because I was so
The
pissed.
final
How is that
mission
even
is
possible?
so good.
I
Noah.
was so pissed.
It is it
Listen.
is
Same
like
reason I never finished Death Note because I was so pissed. You guys
Oh
don't get
my
that
gosh.
reference.
No, I
No,
don't.
I
I will
Whoever-
soon.
You know. You know
know.
why I didn't finish it and why I'm pissed.
Listen. I'm just gonna give you a little taste of it, of the last mission. Getting there, it's a little bit slow. The last mission, you hunt down Micah.
Oh.
It's awesome, dude. You've got to play it.
Revenge story.
Yes, it's.
I mean, it's Red
so
Dead
good.
Redemption,
It's red.
dude.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because it's just like the first one where you, after John dies, you come back as Jack and you kill the guy. It's just like that. So you have to finish it just for the final mission. American Venom.
Maybe I'll go back.
And there were talks of remastering that game, but then it kind of got shot down because people were just begging for GTA 6. No hate on that game.
Yeah.
I bet it's gonna be awesome, but I would love a remaster of Red Dead 1.
Especially if they made Red Dead 1 and they just basically made it with the same engine as Red Dead 2.
Exactly.
Yes.
That would
totally
be
agree.
that would be amazing. I mean, it would be kind of short. I mean, I didn't think Red Dead 1 was that long compared to Red Dead 2.
Yeah, not compared to that.
But I think the same graphics, same everything, it would be beautiful.
Yeah, I
And
totally
think
agree.
I think they should almost make a movie out of that almost.
Yeah,
It
I
would be
honestly
perfect.
don't think that there will be another game
No.
that will compare to Red Dead
There's not a chance.
2.
Mm-mm.
It is.
It's so packed.
It's
full of
phenomenal.
Everything.
Yeah, it's
you
phenomenal.
can walk down a road. You can not do anything and walk down a road, and you
Yeah.
still end up in a quest.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
It's just like you don't have a game like that. It just happens like that.
Yeah.
Like there's been attempts, and they just manage to they get real almost there, and then they just fall short. And
Yeah.
It's just you can't.
Yeah.
It's so good. You could, if you help the dude at the beginning in what's it called, the first town.
Oh,
Valentine?
Valentine, yeah.
You help that
Mhm.
dude. Like
Yeah.
not many people even. I wasn't gonna help him, and I was like, you know what? I'll be the good guy.
Mhm.
And then I went and I helped him, and he just gave me a free gun. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's games that happen
Yeah.
like that, but that's also like a random thing. Like,
Yeah.
He just started
Yeah.
talking to you.
One of the coolest things that I experienced in Red Dead, and I didn't even see it until my second playthrough, is on one of the first couple missions when you're in Valentine, you take this guy's horse, and so you get on it and you run, and he's like, "Hey, that's my horse," and Arthur's like, "Oh, I'm just borrowing it," like it's supposed to be funny, like he's borrowing the horse.
Yeah.
If you go back to Valentine and you track that guy down, he says, "Oh my God, my horse! You really were just bothering it," and you just get off
Yeah.
it, and he's like, "Thank you," and he's like, "Well, thank you for your help, bud. You're a good boy.
You're all right, boy.
You're all right, boy.
You're all right, boy."
Easy there, girl. So yeah, that's the thing that I actually beat the game real quick.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and I actually got to experience it in the second playthrough. And just random events like that. I've
Yeah.
never seen that in the game before.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I've always wanted is for other characters to realize what you're doing. To kind of give you you can walk into the camp dirty as hell.
Yeah.
And you'll be attacked by Miss Grimshaw.
yeah.
She'd be slapping you around, throwing water all over you. It's that's
Yeah.
insane.
If you
NPC work is
if you get too dirty and she has already told you 3 times to take a shower,
Yeah.
she will grab you, because I've had this happen to me. She'll grab you by your neck and she'll pull you to the river and she'll just dunk you in
drowning
it.
you, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and then speaking of the graphics for that is you can fall off your horse in mud and be covered for a while in mud, and it's no other game.
And your horse gets dirty and you gotta clean it with the brush and all
gotta
that.
clean it. If you can travel for hours, and then it'll show a little monitor. Hey, you gotta clean your horse because the health is reducing on it.
But yeah, it's definitely a great game.
Yeah,
You're good. Yeah, take a drink.
Take a drink of water. What other conspiracy theories you got for us?
So I'm not sure if you guys know this one either, and I'm not meaning to disrespect butchering these people's names because they have passed on. So I'm going to attempt to try to say some of them. But it's called the incident at Dyatlov Pass, I think. This happened in Russia in the 50s, where a bunch of hikers went out into the mountains. There was maybe 8 of them, and they all died, just out of nowhere. No one knows what happened. The government, the Soviet Union at the time, tried to really cover it up. They said, they had died of hypothermia because it is very cold there. It's negative 20.
Yeah.
So let me look here and try to bring up a little story.
Russian mountain monsters?
Well,
Yo, the Men of the Mountain,
Death
episode
Boss?
5.
Men of the Mountain. Let's see here. So the group, when the bodies were found in the coming weeks, their strange and gruesome injuries left investigators baffled and repulsed. Some were missing eyes, another was missing her tongue,
Oh my god.
and many were struck by a force comparable to that of a speeding car.
That's insane.
Yeah. But no one can make sense of this. And the Soviet government closed this case quickly and offered very minor explanations. Like I said earlier, they died to hypothermia, or even said there was an avalanche. But that theory, they said there was maybe an avalanche, was actually debunked because no avalanche happened before that event and after that event. So why all of a sudden would there be an avalanche?
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
There was no evidence of that happening.
It sounds like they pissed Putin off.
Oh yeah, he very pissed that they went hiking in the mountains for sure.
It was a test of like a secret, you know.
Yeah, I read that too.
Like a test of
What year did you say?
This was 1959.
I mean, that's like right on the course of Cold War.
They're looking into some things. Like
Yeah.
I said, maybe it's Russian mountain monsters. They released something from one of their little. That mountain just like opens up like a big old barn door.
Yeah.
Just
I got
opens
it.
and comes out.
You know what it is?
What is it?
It's a Demogorgon.
I was
It's
think-
the
I was thinking-
Demogorgon.
I was straight up thinking Stranger Things.
Huh?
It's the Demogorgon.
Yeah, it's a Demogorgon.
I honestly thought it was maybe. Hold on. The Mothman.
When we got all the way there.
Whoa.
How'd he get there before he get into West Virginia?
That's where he started.
Huh?
He just started
Started
there,
in
yeah.
Russia?
Started in there.
Well,
started
it
Russia.
that screws up John's whole Sandhill Crane thing.
Take it back, quick.
I take it
You
back,
know what?
bro.
I take it back. Out of respect. Yeah. Whoa.
Dude, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. So let me see here. Let me just go on to describe because so this is the craziest thing is when they came to because they had a tent. When they came to the tent, it looked like because it was all ripped, it was all
Yeah.
messed up. When they came to the tent, it looked like they had cut from the inside. Something from the inside wanted to get out in a hurry. So they weren't sure if they had a fire in there and like maybe it got too hot or something happened, but what was very strange is they left in a hurry because, one, they had no clothing on. They had no clothing except their underwear. When they were found, they only had their underwear on, nothing else. So, and a lot of their clothes was spread around the whole area. So
Yeah.
when someone would die, someone would take their clothing off them and put it around them, and then they would move to the next spot. Take their clothing off and then move to the next spot. Very, very weird.
That
Very
is weird.
But it said, like I said earlier, they came close to there. Several pairs of shoes were left at the campsite. You would think that if you were leaving the tent, you would bring clothing along with you.
Yeah.
None at all. Then they discovered 8 or 9 sets of footprints from the team, many of them clearly made by people with nothing but socks. No socks, no shoes, just their feet. And these tracks led to the edge, nearby woods, almost a mile away from their camp. They ran in negative 20 degrees
A mile away.
with only your underwear,
Something was chasing them then.
supposedly.
Either that or they were
Russian
just
mountain monster. I'm telling you.
yeah. It's either that or they were just like tripping balls.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Actually.
But this is the thing, though, is the first set of bodies, it says at the forest edge under a large tree, found a small fire and 2 bodies. 2 men, I don't know how to pronounce their names, it's in Russian. Despite the temperature, the bodies were found shoeless and wearing only underwear. Then they found the next 3 bodies who died on their way back to the camp from the tree. So they went to the tree, came back to the camp, and died along the way. And it says, while the circumstances were odd, investigators found that the cause of death were clear. All the hikers, they said, had perished from hypothermia, which, I mean, could be true. But their bodies had shown no indication of severe external damage beyond what was inflicted by the cold. The only part that I said earlier about people missing eyeballs and tongues was one of the persons had injuries consistent with someone falling and hitting their head over and over and over again. Had a baton-shaped bruise on their side. These 2 hikers, as well as others found by this point, were also generally undressed and only supporting the idea that they had fled suddenly without any preparation at all. They just ran away from the scene. Let's see here. One person suffered significant skull damage in the moments before his death, while someone else had major chest fractures that could only be caused by immense force comparable to that of a car, like I said earlier. The most gruesome part was one of the ladies was missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips, as well as facial tissue and a fragment of her skull bone. And they were like way farther than, like this was like miles out from another destination where these people were dead. They lost their tongues, their eyes, stuff like that. It's just very confusing how this happened and why it happened.
Yeah,
Talk about
that's
a cold case.
super
Yeah,
weird.
it's intense, and you can read this. It's a very good article. It's very long because, I mean, a lot of it is like different locations, different things like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Where can you read it at?
just look up the incident at I don't know how to say that, Dyatlov Pass or whatever it was.
Okay.
That
But
is
it's very
Yeah, that's wild, dude. I mean, that's
it's very interesting. Especially the part where people are like have damage comparable to a car wreck.
Yeah,
You know,
What,
yeah.
what
It's
what could,
how could you do that? How can some people have died only because of the cold? They don't have and some are losing their tongues. You know, and it's like what is going on?
It's like you can think a bear, but at the same time, why would a bear only rip off?
There
part
was
of the
there was
face?
no mauling. When you have a bear attack,
Right.
there's always mauling.
yeah.
Right.
There's none of that.
There's no targeted wound.
No targeted wound at all.
Feral.
Just certain objects of your face is missing. No other parts. So like
Yeah.
I'm just taking your eye. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. And then you're dead. You know, it's just crazy.
And then you're dead.
No disrespect to them.
Well,
but
no,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
obviously. I mean, it's
crazy.
yeah,
That
it's
is
weird.
insane. Russian mountain monster.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep
maybe,
saying it.
maybe
I'm
Russian
gonna
mountain.
say it.
Maybe. Okay, I'll say to that. Maybe
Did you say the Russian Bigfoot?
I said Russian mountain.
Russian
monster.
Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Russian
Men of the Mountain.
Yeah,
Men of the
Russian
Mountain?
I don't know. Yeti.
Do you guys have any just off the top of your head? Just kind of. I know it's like, I mean, there's certain things that are just like, whoa, like what is that? Like like.
I mean,
Just
I really
random
can't think of
events.
anything.
I have one that recently happened. That's very, very strange. I don't know much information about it because it recently happened, so there's not a lot of evidence. But it is Alec Baldwin. Recently, I don't know if you guys heard, get charged
Yeah.
with involuntary manslaughter. Because he was on set. He's basically the producer of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a prop gun that was loaded with real bullets, which no
Yes.
prop gun in movie history is
Yeah.
ever loaded.
That's not accurate. There's a movie
Okay.
called The Crow, right? You ever hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had. I'm pretty sure it was The Crow or one of the movies like that. And they had a loaded gun, and there was an actual you said that there was an actual conspiracy theory around it because during the movie the actor I can't remember the names or anything, but the actor had a prop gun and shot one of the people on set and killed them. And there was this huge conspiracy because the lady who was the wife of the person,
Uh huh.
and I guess she was also her daughter was the armorer, which is the person who gets the gun,
Right,
sets up
yeah.
the gun, because they're prop but they're real,
yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So to make it realistic, so she had shot. This is probably filled with inaccuracies, but the gist of it is the lady had the gun planted for the dude to shoot to kill the person, so that she could claim insurance. It was never proven to be real.
Wow.
That's
but
wild.
She did
That
it
is
to claim.
wild.
She did it to claim life insurance, and she was tearing up and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then she was immediately right after that she was like, okay, and then tried to claim the insurance instantly, without even
That's
remorse or
crazy.
thinking
Yeah,
about it. So it's
that's-
but yeah,
that's
no,
shady.
That also falls upon the armor.
I stand corrected. Movies have used bullets. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah,
to
no,
the
I
audience.
thought the
I
same
apologize.
way.
Well, that's the thing is when you're logically thinking, when you're filming, because it's a Western movie, when you're filming a Western movie, and you obviously have a scene where a gun is pointed at another person,
You shouldn't have a real.
who
gun.
in the right mind would
Yeah.
load that?
Because it's usually just blanks.
It's blanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's a realistic looking gun. It's
Yeah.
probably real, but it's not real ammunition.
Yeah, we're not saying shoot a movie with a cap gun.
Exactly,
But,
yeah.
don't be an idiot
Right.
either. Yeah.
So, and that's the thing is where I'm confused. He's the main producer of it. He's also in the movie. Shouldn't you kind of know what
Yes,
props?
I-
I understand that maybe not be your job, but
Yeah.
you should know what is going on. You should basic gunner safety is I'm a hunter. I have to take license for it. Not
Yeah.
license, but a
Test
license and also test. Basic hunter safety. basic gun safety is knowing when you have a loaded gun in your hand.
Yes.
You know, and when doesn't matter if it's a prop or not, you got to check what's inside of that.
Yes, there was a huge failure on. See, he was the producer. I'm not saying I feel bad for him. 'Cause
Oh, it's awful.
unfair.
Yeah.
Because he was like he really didn't. It really wasn't intentional.
Yeah,
At the same
and
time-
like when it happened, like he would do like interviews or like even just get like bombarded by paparazzi.
I saw
And I
that.
mean it really weighed on him.
Mhm.
Like I mean it wasn't something that he meant to do. Like it sucks.
But
Yeah.
it's also a failure. It's a
Yeah.
failure on
Mhm.
his. It is. He's responsible for some of it due to the fact of him not checking.
Take
more.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's another lady that has
Yeah.
that has the same didn't mean to interrupt you, dude.
No, you're
I
good.
apologize. But she is also facing the same charges, so I feel like she has a part of it as well.
I think she was the lady that like
was in charge of
was
it.
doing the props.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the armor.
So I wonder
it
if
had to be with the armor. Cause
Yeah.
the thing is, they produced it, and there was a huge thing at the time because there was like a strike. I can't remember the exact acronym for it, but there was a huge strike with. There was a certain guild for movie makers.
Screen Actors Guild.
There was it was the Armorers Guild
Oh,
or something
okay.
like that. But yes,
Yeah,
it has
yeah,
to do
yeah.
with them. They're like a huge encompassing.
Yeah.
Basically, they were cheaping out on the actual like good armorers, like who part of this huge group, and they were hiring people who weren't as trained due to the fact that it's cheaper. And they,
Right.
and, you're producing this movie and you don't have a lot of money, so you just want to get the cheapest person you can, and they got someone who wasn't as trained, who hadn't been doing it for very long. And they hired her on, and then this happened, and the guild got really mad about it, and there was a huge uproar with all of that as well. But there was some striking going on and stuff, but it's just like, just pay the people.
Yeah.
Just pay the people who
That's
are
the
supposed to do their
thing,
job.
yeah. Yeah,
It's like
I totally
enough
agree.
enough cheaping out. There's a point where it's like, okay, maybe we can cut some corners here, and money's tight. I get it. Being financially safe in a movie is difficult because you don't know if it's gonna flop or
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah, when you're
When it
dealing
comes
with
to
guns,
guns,
when you're dealing with
when it
guns in a
comes to,
movie,
like-
like Napoleon Dynamite, very cheap movie. That movie was very cheaply
Yeah.
made, and they had to borrow money from a lot of different companies. And when MTV took over, it blew up. That movie is worth millions of dollars now.
Yeah.
But the budget was very cheap.
yeah.
But when you're dealing with actually like weaponry, like you can't like you said, you can't flop on that.
No, you
Yeah.
probably shouldn't cut corners with that because it's like dangerous. But yeah, again, not to say because I love Alec. I love Alec
Oh, I do
Baldwin's
too,
movie,
man.
and I'm sure he feels terrible and is real in a deep place about it. But at the same time, there's a failure there, and
Yeah.
it sucks.
Not to make jokes, but Cat in the Hat, man, he was good in that.
Right? He was
Good in that
he
movie.
was-
Was he in Cat in the Hat?
You never seen
Yeah.
Cat in the
I've
Hat
seen Cat in
with
the Hat.
who's the
Michael
Mike Myers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike Myers.
I know
you,
that.
You didn't know he was in that?
What is he the dad?
No. Okay. Yeah,
Well,
he
he's
he
the
was the
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Yes.
That
Okay.
was there. yeah.
It's been a while.
also the
I'm
already.
boss
sorry,
baby.
man. I apologize.
He is the boss
Yeah.
baby. That is true.
But yeah.
And he plays. He's Trump on SNL.
Oh
like
my
every
God,
time
he
they
does a
bring
good
in.
Trump.
Yeah, dude, he's just like. Well, Carson, I mean, if that's all you got, man, I really appreciate you coming on. I think that you've really just done a great job, and you've really just. This has been great. I mean, you
It's
had
been a
some.
fantastic.
Yeah, you've had some real cool stuff, and I mean.
Don't start tearing up.
I'm gonna cry right now. I'm John. I'm gonna cry.
Well, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I mean, I think Carson brought some really great topics, and I mean, we just had a great time. But if you did, make sure you go in the description of this, wherever you're watching it, and you can find our Linktree. It has all of our links to all of our socials, everywhere that the podcast is posted, and also just there's a SpeakPipe link in there if you guys want to send us a message. We haven't been getting many messages. It looks like we have, but Carson is about 7 of them, so Carson really wanted to be on here. One thing I do have to say is, I mean, since we're doing guests and stuff, if you send in a SpeakPipe message, maybe you could be like Carson. Maybe.
Could be.
You're
You just gotta
throwing-
try. You
you're
just gotta
throwing
send 6 in a row,
You're
and then
throwing
you'll
a
be
deep
good.
bargain in there. real quick.
Maybe.
That's dangerous.
Maybe. Oh, you at the very least will be included in an episode. I really want to get some like audience participation. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. And as always, I'm Trey,
I'm Noah.
I'm John the Bald.
and thank you for watching.
Quaalude! Show